Welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire. Can everybody hear me? We've had some major technical difficulties. YouTube is highly restricting streams on this channel for some reason. Welcome, I am Ion's Cat. Let me know if you guys can hear me, because I can't tell. Am I broadcasting loud and clear? Okay, so you can hear me. That's interesting. I'm getting a lot of feedback here on my end. Basically, YouTube will not allow me to play any audio from any other clips. So I got the mic working. There was supposed to be a stream last night. And they basically, nothing was working last night. Yeah, I have no idea what is up with the echo. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that better with the echo? Is that better? Has that resolved the issue a little bit? Okay, I just turned it down. Okay, so we'll do our best to cover the subject, but I can't play any other audio. It won't let me stream anything other than one channel anymore. So I can't play any video clips with audio. I can't play any kind of music. I'm assuming nobody heard the intro music from the MINDSHOCK intro earlier. I didn't hear it. It didn't go through. So, anywho, it's been a while since a live stream. A lot of technical difficulties, but we'll do our best to get through it. I am, of course, your host, Bruce McGuire. If you want to help support the channel, help logic and reason return to a world where it is quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. If the notifications are not coming through, just like and comment on more videos. You could also like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You can also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. And you could also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. QG in the chat saying they did hear the intro music. Interesting. Because I couldn't hear it, and on my end, I mean, I went through 10 different software programs for streaming. Nothing was working on any of them. So this is clearly a YouTube issue. There have been basically non-stop technical issues ever since I did the Occult NASA Patches podcast. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have done that one. I don't know. I don't know. So, okay, I will play the clip. I can play video. I don't think any of the audio is going to work, though, from this clip. So, let's watch the video of this so-called assassination attempt. No remorse, no regrets in the chat. Now, of course, you got this what's the first thing we see in this picture? We have this DEI affirmative action hire Secret Service agent. I mean, what's she gonna do? And this guy looks kind of old too. This isn't a sexist thing, obviously. I mean, these people, like, you need physical specimens to be Secret Service agents. Not these random, somewhat out of shape looking men and women. It seems weird. Like these DEI affirmative action hires that are now also in the Secret Service, apparently. It's just weird. That's kind of the first thing that jumped out at me. But let's go a little deeper in typical mind shock fashion with logic and reason at the forefront. Let's see if this will actually play. I have a clip here of what went down at this rally. And let's see what we can dissect here. Again, this is Mind Shock, where the motto is, the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. I do not claim anything is true or untrue.
I really see.
So I'm not getting any audio here, but I don't know if you guys can hear the audio.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
So it looks like he grabbed. So apparently, was he shot twice? Because look what happens here. He grabs his ear, so that's the first shot. And then apparently there's another one, because there's two different sources of blood. And look how slow the Secret Service, like, look at these fatties, look how slow they are getting on stage. Like, what happened to physical fitness requirements? I mean, look at these fatties getting to the stage so slow. I mean, look at this. They're sloths. I mean, look how sloth-like they are. I mean, what percentage body fat are these so-called Secret Service agents? Haley Green in the chat says, someone that worked in IRS said that she was pulled for this type of presidential protection in 2020 due to understaffing. I mean, look how sloth-like they are getting to the stage. I mean, that cameraman's moving faster than the Secret Service. Look at that cameraman. That cameraman is jogging faster. Let's play that again. Look at these fatties trying to get to the stage, and then look at that photographer just zipping across with a quickness, unlike those sloth-like Secret Service agents. I mean, those photographers should be Secret Service agents. I mean, just look at that blistering speed with which they move. I mean, I wonder what that female Secret Service agent's 40-yard dash is. And how much can she lift? And obviously, she's so small. I mean, how is she even going to block bullets with her body? I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Hellcat Kenny says, I can't help but notice the irony of 3 signs in the back saying you're fired as a shot is fired. What a spooky coincidence. Well, Hellcat Kenny, stick around, because by the end of this podcast, we will be examining quite a few so-called coincidences that will shock some minds. But again, look at that photographer just zipping left and right with such speed. I mean, he's much faster than these sloth-like Secret Service agents. I wonder, are the Secret Service agents vaxxed? Do they have, like, heart issues? They can't move quickly? So here's the other thing, too. Like, a lot of goofs were saying that Trump popped right back up before the gunman was dead. But here, he's down for quite a while here. So he's down for quite a while. So again, I'm not claiming this event is or isn't staged. We're simply examining what's going on here. Yeah, Beaten Track said, I saw a reel earlier. The cameraman was running faster than people on a running track. Seems holding a camera makes you faster. Well, or he just appears to be faster due to the sloth-like, possibly myocarditis, Secret Service agents. So now, so there seems to be multiple sources of blood here. There's blood around his mouth and his ear going in different directions. So again, I'm not claiming anything is fake. I'm not claiming anything is real. We're just looking. I mean, this is just strange. And then you have that tiny DEI hire female Secret Service agent, while all of these agents appear to be quite slow. I mean, and why is he leaning on the? I mean, Trump is not a small guy. I mean, this guy's kind of big. He's a big guy, and he's choosing the tiny little female, the smallest, weakest Secret Service agent to lean on to walk. Does that seem like like adequate security? I mean, or is this just idiocracy basically coming true? The idiocracy documentary, where you have this over 6 foot tall, over 200 pound politician, no longer a spring chicken, needing to lean on the smallest, weakest individual here who probably shouldn't be a Secret Service agent. Call me crazy. I don't think any small, weak humans should be. Again, nothing to do with gender, but if you're small and weak with a high body fat percentage and slow, should you be a Secret Service agent? I mean, these are real questions here. I mean, half of these guys probably shouldn't. Half of the males here shouldn't be Secret Service agents either. I mean, one of them looks pretty chunky. Look at that chick in the back. I mean, she's really chunky. What's she gonna do? What's that chunky agent bringing up the rear gonna do? I mean, I don't know what kind of security was this. I mean, I don't know what kind of other security is here. But, I mean, this guy in the gear looks in relatively decent shape. The Secret Service agent's not so much. I mean, look at this chunky female in the back. Like, how is she a Secret Service agent? Like, there are plenty of elite physical specimen females out there. I mean, there's tons. But why are they hiring these fat, out of shape, slow agents, both female and male? It doesn't make any sense. Like, look at these chunky, slow, high body fat percentaged, possibly myocarditis, Secret Service, female Secret Service agent, DEI, affirmative action hires here. What are they gonna do? Like, seriously. They couldn't out wrestle, a preteen boy. I mean, they can barely stand. Look at them. They can barely stand under their own power. Luke B said they gave the C team to try. This is the Z team. This is the Z team. I mean, can you imagine slower, more out of shape, more incompetent Secret Service agents here? I mean, like this one guy with the rifle, he looks like he's in decent shape. Maybe one of these other Secret Service agents, but most of the guys here look pretty fat, looks pretty soy-like. And then, of course, the three female agents here, I mean, it looks like they're shooting some kind of satire comedy skit for Saturday Night Live. I mean, look how chunky they are. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? She can't even get her gun in her holster. She just missed her holster 3 times. I mean, is this a parody? Is this some kind of comedy sketch? She just missed her holster, 3 times, and then she gave up on it. What are we watching here? What are we watching? She couldn't get her gun in her holster 3 times, so then she just decided to keep the gun out? And is she even supposed to holster the gun while the vehicle's not secured? Like, what is going on here? Is she that not coordinated? Like, first of all, seriously, what is her body fat percentage? Like, she's pretty overweight. I don't know if she crosses the line into obese. I mean, obese is obviously BMI related, so she may or may not be obese. Obese doesn't mean you're, grotesquely or morbidly obese. You could be obese and not even be that fat. It's all about BMI. So we have these potentially obese female DEI Secret Service hires. Now, watch this chunky lady. She can't even get the gun in the holster. Like, look at this. Look at this right here. So there's attempt 1 missed. Attempt 2 missed. So okay. So Pinto Sack says maybe she was shaking from adrenaline. She actually doesn't appear to be shaking in terms of her hand, doesn't appear to be shaking. She just missed the holster several times. Stephanie Hughes saying, hey, fat people need a job too. Yeah, I mean, the body fat percentage is just so high. If she can't even quickly holster her weapon, I mean, this is tough. And what are the other agents? They're like bumping into each other, scrambling. Like, it's like they don't even know what to do. I mean, look at these 3 female Secret Service agents. It's like they don't even know what to do. Put on your sunglasses, fix the jacket, touch up the sunglasses, bump into each other, stand around like buffoons. Oh, there's a 4th female Secret Service agent in the back, and look how chunky she is. I mean, that's potentially obese as well. Look at her in the back. So Trump's got like half of these guys are also look like they're pretty high body fat index, and they're pretty slow. And then he also gets four chunky. One of them's not that chunky, but he's got 3 really chunky, possibly obese female Secret Service agents guarding his life. I mean, this is just weird. Does anybody else find this strange? Beaten Track says, according to the Secret Service website, to be an agent, they must get 20 points in different physical attributes. The average minimum is meant to be 27 to 29 push-ups, 37 to 41 sit-ups. Well, that's nothing. I thought they'd at least be able to do like 10 pull-ups. And I don't even think these chunky ladies can do... I don't think they could do 5 proper push-ups. I mean, I don't know if they allow like Twitch push-ups or knee push-ups for the females, but... I mean, maybe they could do some kind of twitchy type push-ups, but a full range of motion push-up, I don't think so. I mean, look at that chunky lady in the back. I mean, I don't think she's making 5 push-ups. Beaten Track continues here. Course in less than 20.59 seconds and a 1.5 mile run in 14 minutes 42. Yeah, I don't even think they can run a mile in any kind of time. I mean, look how chunky they are. I mean, that's just a lot of chunk. I mean, I know there are some athletes that do carry a lot of weight and they can do this kind of miles. I just would not be willing to bet that these chunky agents who miss the holster multiple times and are bumping into each other like buffoons, I don't think they could do any of these physical requirements. Who's the lady in the bottom right throwing the middle finger? She's very animated with her sparkly Trump hat. QG says Trump needs to get one of these rappers security guards for protection. Yeah, no kidding. At least those guys are jacked. Or at least some kind of former military. I mean, just look at how incompetent they all look. Like, what are they gonna do? It's almost like some kind of Hollywood set. Some kind of, Hollywood set where they get these out-of-shape actresses to pretend they're some kind of government agents that are actually trained. Now, these guys, I mean, they don't look like they're in phenomenal shape either, but at least they can carry some weight. It looks like they could at least carry some kind of weight. And look at that chunky lady in the back. I mean, she's either obese or borderline obese. I mean, just what's the BMI there? mean, she's built like a refrigerator. All right, so that's what we have there. Let's look at the. Let's look at this image over here. So apparently, like, he grabbed his right ear in the video. So is this the bullet that pierced his right ear or something else? Witsit gets it in the chat. There is no way those females are doing multiple pull-ups. Get out of here. I don't even think they can do multiple push-ups. I mean, okay, forget about a timed 1.5 mile run. Does anybody think they could even run 1.5 miles consecutively? Or even jog? Even a slow jog? Who thinks they can make a slow jog? Maybe the tinier one can, but those three chunky ones, I don't think so. I don't think so. So, okay, staged or not, so in 2024, even the past 10 years, I mean, there's a lot of high resolution cameras, high frame rate cameras. Is this a real image? I don't know, maybe? Is this a flying bullet? What is this? What is this? So, I don't know. This is a pretty crazy shot. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like there are I know a lot of people dunk on female cops. There are at least a few female cops out there that are physical specimens. And that maybe they can actually do the job. There's at least a couple out there. Just like you look at some elite female athletes, some power lifters. There's some powerful, fast women out there. Those, I think less people would have an issue with them being Secret Service agents. But when you get these chunky, obese, borderline obese women that can't even holster a weapon, I mean, this is insane. Robert Belt in the chat saying the Three Stooges were playing Keystone Cops at Trump's rally yesterday. All right, what does everybody make of this image here, though? Is this a bullet? Is this a photoshopped image? I believe this was taken from a live broadcast. So either it was faked live, or, which obviously the technology exists to do that, obviously it does, or there was some kind of projectile that wasn't a bullet, or it was a bullet. What are the options here? I can't think of any other options. Either it was faked, not live, faked live, non-bullet projectile, or actual bullet. So those are the only four I can come up with. Beaten Track says, anyone remember seeing those videos of those mysterious flying rods? This reminds me a bit of that. Interesting. So, a possibly non-bullet projectile, possibly not even necessarily a physical projectile. What are we thinking? Pinto Sack says, you think he used one of those old WWF blood pills? I don't know. I mean, they have some really advanced, like, Hollywood special effects. I don't think they'd be using those old packets. Although, I mean, I don't know. If they were gonna fake it like this, I mean, they could at least have some kind of a budget, right? Alright, so let's look at the... I'm going to read an article here where even the... I thought this was kind of strange, because usually in the mainstream, the official narrative is that it's a lone wolf, etc., etc. Here, right out of the gate, There's an MSN.com article, Trump under fire, new details emerge on rally shooting in Pennsylvania. And this, okay, I'm just going to read it right here. During a Saturday election rally, Donald Trump was shot. New findings have emerged regarding the assassination attempt on the former U.S. president. These were shared by Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens. He conveyed that authorities, quote, do not believe it was a lone wolf attack, end quote. These words signal that the 20-year-old attacker most likely had accomplices. Bivens, as reported by the Washington Post, urged the public to provide video footage and photographic evidence. He also mentioned that after IDing the shooter, info is being gathered about him. Media also quoted FBI Special Agent Rojek, who said that, quote, it is surprising that the attacker was able to fire several shots. When asked about the security at the rally, he replied that the Secret Service has to answer that question. You think they're ever going to interview those chunky agents that can't even holster their weapons? I don't know. They conduct preliminary security assessments and determine where the services should be positioned. They are responsible for securing the scene, he summarized. So, right out of the gate, they're stating it was not a lone wolf attack. So that's curious, because in the world of the authority-worshipping cultists and the coincidence theorists, the bootlickers, they always pretend and hallucinate it's a lone wolf acting alone, and it can't be a situation where it's not a lone wolf. Here, right out of the gate, MSN.com is stating that it was not a lone wolf attack. Just give me a second. I'm going to pull something up here. So here's a 2020, this image right here is from a 2023 BlackRock commercial on the left. Now, is there anybody who's not familiar with BlackRock at the moment? So this 2023 BlackRock ad was filmed at Bethel Park High School, which was the high school that Thomas Crooks attended. Now that's an interesting last name, isn't it? Crooks. Now, Crooks was also Tupac's last name, Lazan Parish Crooks. So that's kind of curious. Isn't that kind of curious? So I'm going to put something else on the screen. Which is going to shock some minds here. I hope everybody's sitting down for this. Now, again, I suppose the veracity of this is in question, just like everything. But here is a 4chan post, which a lot of people, think 4chan is nonsense, but how often does it turn out to be true? So here's a post here. My name is Jonathan Willis. I'm the officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof at Trump's rally. I came here to inform the public that I had the assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes, but the head of the Secret Service refused to give the order to take out the perp. 100% the top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took the shots at President Trump. Now, right off the bat, it does seem like if this was true, he wouldn't be posting this. But, I mean, I don't know. Isn't there some kind of protocol to prevent? I mean, I don't know. Hmm. So, back to my question about BlackRock. Are there people out there who do not know what BlackRock is? Well, let me bring up a graphic of what BlackRock owns. For the coincidence theorists out there that pretend that BlackRock doesn't exist, I mean, what is the coincidence theorist cope regarding BlackRock? So here are the companies that BlackRock owns. Now, I actually haven't heard what is the official coincidence theorist, authority worshipping cultist cope regarding BlackRock. Do they pretend BlackRock doesn't exist? Or do they kind of just pretend it's a company, but it's just some kind of innocent company? Like, what do coincidence theorists pretend about BlackRock? Like, what do goofs like Destiny or some of these other mentally disabled online personalities, like, what is their response when BlackRock is brought up? Because I don't really know. What is it? Does anybody know what coincidence theorists say about that? So why is this guy Thomas Crooks? Why is Mr. Crooks in a BlackRock commercial? And why is BlackRock even filming commercials at high schools? So BlackRock.com describes itself as investment management and financial services. I mean, can you say obfuscation? BlackRock is one of the world's preeminent asset management firms. Like asset management. What kind of assets? Like governments? All the top corporations? And a premier provider of investment management. What kind of investments? Like the treasury of governments? Anybody have any answers to any of these questions? Hellcat Kenny says, I tend not to watch folks like Destiny, to be honest. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the MindShock episode on Destiny, the face of mental disability in America, check it out. I mean, I have no idea how anybody actually takes that guy seriously. I mean, that guy's mentally gone. I mean, severe mental disability, mental health issues. Like, who would ever want to have a real conversation with? I mean, who would ever think it was even possible to have a mental conversation with a goof like that who is completely mentally gone? I mean, he's not even on a preschool English level. So nobody knows what coincidence theorist Cope regarding BlackRock is? I honestly, I haven't seen any coincidence theorist make any kind of rebuttal regarding BlackRock. Because if BlackRock just owns all of these corporations, big pharma, all of the media corporations, I mean, that's kind of an issue. They would be the string pullers of a lot. And I haven't heard coincidence theorist cope. Like, I don't know what style of coincidence theorist cope they come up with regarding BlackRock. Okay, so so this shady company that owns everything is filming commercials at high schools featuring alleged future assassinators. And we have mainstream media articles direct from MSN stating that they do not believe this is a lone wolf attack. So, what does this mean? Steph Del Dupacy says shadow banking mega conglomerate of conglomerates consortium of smaller consortiums. Well said. Well said. So, what does everybody make of this? That not just that this alleged future assassinator, part of a non-lone wolf plot, according to the mainstream media now, is featured in a commercial, but why are they even shooting commercials at high schools? Anybody, I mean, is that kind of strange? Anybody find that kind of strange? I don't know. All right, who's ready for the biggest mind shock of them all? Is everybody sitting down for this? Because if people think the coincidence stack is already this high, I mean, it's about to get a whole lot higher. It's about to get a whole lot higher. So, who's ready for the biggest coincidence stack of all? Now, I'm sure this is all coincidental. So, Trump is shot, in quotations, on July 13th, 137, the 33rd prime number. Now, in the U.S., it's month then date. In other countries, it's date then month. So that's 3,030 days after his tombstone appeared in Central Park, as well as 3,333 days after Beau Biden died, 33 weeks and 3 days after the JFK anniversary, and 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days before the election. Now, I'm sure this is all coincidental. And for those that don't know, 33 is the number of the Freemasons, huge number in numerologies, spiritual systems, ancient civilizations. 33 is everywhere. So who thinks this is coincidental? And shout out to Alex Jones. Did you guys listen to my Alex Jones Red Alert video from... Okay, let's look at the date when I put that video up. I put it up within I think a day or two of Jones releasing it. So that was May 4th. He said that they would assassinate Trump. And they would go after himself as well. Who remembers that podcast? Christian A says Alex Jones has got to be the biggest controlled clown op ever. Yeah, but does he ever miss? I mean, does the guy ever miss in his predictions? I mean, the Alex Jones was right jar has exploded decades ago. I mean, Alex Jones made a lot of bold predictions in his Red Alert video. Everything from assassinations to some kind of Civil War descent going on throughout the summer, culminating in however many days before the election. Yeah, I mean, I've been holding off on doing a Gematria series just because it's just so eerie. I mean, it's like winning the lottery multiple times every single day, statistically. I mean, that's just creepy. I mean, who would believe that not only somebody's winning the lottery, they're winning the lottery every day of the year and also winning ever so many different lotteries in the same day every single day of the year. And the odds are even greater than that once you stack all of this. Yeah, numerology's really weird. It's really weird. Christian A says odds go out the window when you know what's coming because you were told. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's all coincidental regarding these DEI hired Z team Secret Service agents. The the alleged shooter being part of a non-lone wolf plot as reported by mainstream media who just happens to be in a BlackRock commercial which for whatever reason is shooting commercials at high schools. I mean, I mean, I mean, is that common? Do any other companies, just these major trillion-dollar companies, randomly shoot commercials at high schools? I mean, how many other investment firms or whatever they want to call themselves shoot random commercials at high schools? Who are you talking to, Christian A? Where did I say that Alex Jones was honest? I just said the Alex Jones jar was right jar exploded decades ago. Gematria is a numerological system by which Hebrew letters correspond to numbers. The system was allegedly developed by practitioners of the Kabbalah. So I actually do have a audiobook of the Kabbalah on the channel if you want to check it out to see what it says. But it's quite involved. Mysticism, a lot of connections to Freemasonry, and all of that jazz. So, what are the final thoughts here? Let's do a poll. So let's see what all the MindShock listeners think is going on here. So far, we got 50% believe it was staged, 42% say no, 8% too triggered to answer. Can't blame those. Can't blame those. Here's another weird thing. Though. Why wouldn't Trump have his own private security in addition to the Secret Service? Or do they just not play well together? Like, why can't he also have his own additional security if he doesn't trust these DEI hires? I mean, that's my question. That's my question. Now, for the people that say it was staged because of the fist pump, I would say that's. I mean, I would say that's the least. I mean, that's basically has nothing to do with it because if it were real, I mean, obviously, the Donald is the type of guy that would do something like that if it were real. And they were down for quite a while because a lot of goofs on Twitter were saying, "Why would they let him jump right up?" Well, he didn't. They were down for a while until whatever happened in their earpieces where they told him the shooter was down. Now, could there have been also other potential shooters? Possibly. We don't know, staged or not, staged shooters or real shooters, regardless of what. QG says Trump is holding the blood pack in his hand, so he had to hide it. Rochelle says two different people reported the shooter on the roof to Secret Service. They ignored it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. But I wouldn't say that, like, any of this specifically points to fake. Because if it were a real shooter or shooters, and there was some kind of stand down order similar to the JFK assassination where they allowed him to be shot, that could be going on here with real shooters as well. Again, I do not claim anything is true or untrue. We are always doing logical, objective, neutral examinations here. The motto, of course, is the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. So that's it for now. I will attempt to sort out all the technical issues, um, and hopefully I'll be able to do more breakdowns and analyses of various debates and such, and able to play clips. Hopefully YouTube stops being so difficult as well. I Am Ion's cat wants me to play the BBC video. Witsit Gets It is on the fence. See, here's the thing, though. See, the Donald probably is the type of guy who would stage it on himself. Not that that's what happened here, but I wouldn't say that's not a possibility. And then, of course, you know what's the most surprising to me, though? Out of all the hate that he's gotten from all these different groups, is anybody surprised that there haven't been way more attempts? Is that not surprising? I mean, I'm looking through a couple different interviews. A couple of witnesses said they counted 7 shots. Yeah, I'm not getting any audio other than my mic. I'm gonna put up a map in a second of the shooter location, just for those that are still thinking that there's some kind of competency on the side of the Secret Service. Or if they are competent, then it was an intentional stand down. If you haven't checked out the JFK podcast on MindShock, check it out. It's a big deep dive. So it's pretty much the most obvious location, other than maybe those little buildings in the middle. But I mean, it's just a prime location. I mean, this is probably, this is like security 101 stuff. So I'm gonna close the poll here. 58% say it was staged. 57. 32% say no. 9% too trigger to answer. Here's the thing, too. Who is it staged by? And was the Donald in the know regarding the staging, or did he take advantage and create some kind of iconic photo op, you know, making lemonade from lemons, so to speak, from the situation? Witsit gets it. You heard the story about a cop going up on the roof, then running away back down the ladder. See, in a lot of these situations, there are all of these anomalous type stories, and they exist for non staged events as well, for a whole bunch of different variables, that we don't have the information regarding. So, I mean, again, impossible to really know unless you have the highest level clearances. How would you know? Craig Mitchell getting triggered in the chat here. So here's the ladder that is being discussed in regards to where the shooter was. I actually have an extensive podcast on the Illuminati card game coming up. Mark Archuleta saying hundreds of phones out and seems like only the same 5 angles being posted. Yeah, that's a good point. So here is a report here from what's going on with the officer. I mean, I'm sure more information will be out in the next couple days, couple weeks, but here's what we have so far. Secret Service agents fatally shot crooks. The gunman attacked from an elevated position outside the rally venue at a farm show in Butler, the agency said. Not long before shots rang out, rally goers noticed a man climbing to the roof of a nearby building and warned local police, according to 2 law enforcement officials. One local police officer climbed to the roof and encountered crooks who pointed the rifle at the officer. The officer retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly took a shot toward Trump, and that's when Secret Service snipers shot him, said the officials, who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing investigation. The officials also told AP that bomb making materials were found inside Crooks's vehicle, and bomb making materials were found at his home. And of course, that's kind of a staple of many inside jobs and patsies that were set up, or MK Ultra. Patsy doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, okay, if it's an MK Ultra patsy, they may or may not have been directly involved, or it might be a Manchurian candidate type MK Ultra victim, in which case they're brainwashed into physically carrying out the act. Again, for whatever reason, coincidence theorist goofs, they just have a hard time with understanding MK Ultra and Manchurian candidates, no matter no matter how many declassified documents are released, no matter how much the church committee admitted. Some of these coincidence theorist goofs, these authority worshipping cultist bootlickers, they just don't have the mental capacity to comprehend what goes into MK Ultra and Manchurian candidates. Big Pine sailing, clutching pearls. Hockey Guy 77 believes it was an inside job setup, staged incident, scripted. Inside job, false flag, fake incident. Trump set this up himself. It was staged. Blood packets, Hollywood blanks, fake, bad acting. Yeah, I don't know about the blood packets though. I think they have a lot more advanced tech than that now. So if it were staged, I don't know if they'd be using blood packets. Hockey Guy 77 says that post from 4chan is fake. It might be. I mean, we don't know. A lot of posts that coincidence theorists pretended were fake ended up being true in many other incidents. So we don't really know if it's true or untrue. Because how would you determine it was definitively fake? I mean, obviously the burden of proof is on positive claims that it is true. I don't claim it's true or untrue. But how would you know if it were fake, though? Okay, so yeah, I mean there's a couple other things that are coming out right now. Apparently, early reports stated that the first ID of the shooter was Maxwell Yerrick, some kind of Antifa guy. And his entire profile has apparently been scrubbed from the internet. So this is another shooter with long hair. I'll post an image in a second. Now, I don't know if the coincidence theorists are going to claim this was simply a mistake, just like in early reporting of many other shootings. The coincidence theorists, authority worshipping cultists, bootlickers who just believe whatever the current mainstream narrative is on the idiot box, they like to pretend that anything that doesn't match the narrative has to have been a mistake and it couldn't have been accurate in any way. Because if there are multiple shooters, who knows what the situation could be. But what's strange is that this guy was initially ID'd. So Maxwell Yerrick was under FBI radar before he shot Trump. Reported from various news outlets. Again, not necessarily. Hmm. I mean, there's a couple other things here from news reports. I don't know why they were reporting that this Yerrick guy. But for whatever reason, all of his profiles are getting scrubbed from the internet, which is kind of weird. I mean, if it's just an innocent mistake. Put up a few more articles on the screen in a second. Pittsburgh Trump protesters sentenced to jail time. Maxwell Yerrick of Perry South both pled guilty Monday to simple assault and resisting arrest back April 11th, 2017, reported on WTAE.com. Apparently, Northwest Progressive Institute also released something here. There were two shooters named? That's weird. I don't know. I don't know. There's always a lot of issues, just like with that incident in Connecticut where there were guys in black camo gear getting arrested. that everybody forgot about. But we're not going to talk about that. We're definitely not going to discuss that. So yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency, a lot of weirdness. I mean, obviously, I'll continue to cover this as more information is revealed. But again, here on MindShock, the motto is, of course, the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. All the goofs hallucinating to know that it's definitely this or definitely that obviously are not being logical, they are just hallucinating. Just like to think that it definitely couldn't be staged, that's kind of silly. Or to think that it was staged in a particular way without actually having those clearances to know that for sure. If it were staged and the Donald is in on it, I don't think they'd be using cheapo blood packets. I think they'd be using higher end stuff. Oh wow, Rochelle D saying one of the Secret Service agents was on the job for her first day. That seems kind of weird. One of the most high profile individuals. You'd think they'd have some kind of some kind of experience required. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, that's the other thing too. If you're a Secret Service agent, shouldn't you at least be able to physically control who you're guarding? Like she could be trying to tackle the Donald here. He might not even notice that she's trying to push him down. I mean, she has no strength whatsoever. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, that'll be it for now. Plenty more to come. I'll try to fix a lot of the technical issues, see if we can get some more lives going. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us for another edition of the Mind Shock podcast. You want to help support the podcast, help logic and reason return to a world where it's quickly going extinct? You can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.